My name is Jennifer, and this is Izzy, and we're the team If It's Not Sustainable, I'm Not Wearing It for greener fashion. So our one good idea wasn't really an action, it was more of just a concept. We thought that if we could spread awareness about the value of our clothes, not just by the price tag, but by the amount of resources that go into producing them, then like eco-friendly things would follow suit naturally, like buying secondhand, repairing their clothes, and buying higher quality. Our motivation was that we felt that this topic was something that we could be really creative with, and it's also a really consumer-oriented industry. So, if we demand sustainable and ethical fashion, then we will get it as consumers.
Every step along the way of their production, our clothes are burning up resources and creating carbon dioxide. Natural fibres use up energy in their farming, as machinery needs fuel and water needs to be pumped. Synthetic materials are often made of non-renewable resources that are byproducts of oil refining. Dyeing and processing also use a huge amount of energy and chemicals too. These steps in production take place all around the world, so a big part of our clothes' carbon footprint is from transportation. And even after the clothes are bought, energy goes into washing and drying them too. Other than climate change, the fast fashion industry has a massive impact on humans and the environment too. So to spread our idea, we created an awareness campaign.
With our awareness campaign, we created posters that went up around our school. We also created artwork using a technique called applique, which we used scraps of cotton fabric to create pictures of the people who make our clothes. We also gave talks to the first, second, and third years at assemblies. We set up an ethical fashion display in the office where we borrowed a mannequin from our friend and we used it to display green and ethical fashion where we changed the outfit every day for a week. We hosted a style swap at lunchtime where people could bring in their old unwanted clothes and trade them for someone else's. We contacted a local journalist named Brian Byrne who put an article of ours in the Kilcullen Diary, our town's blogspot. This article led to an article in Kildare's newspaper, the Kildare Nationalist. It led to a display in our local library after our librarian asked us about our project, and an interview on Kildare's radio station KFM.
We surveyed our target audience before and after our campaign, and although we didn't see a huge difference in results, we did see that the people who knew anything knew a lot more than before. So we decided to engage more with our audience and were inspired to teach a first-year class about greener fashion. We found that they engaged more with the topic and seemed more interested when participating in the games and quizzes we organised for them. We were also invited to set up an exhibition in our local library and where we gave talks and discussed our campaign with the people there to spread our message around the town. Throughout the project, we kept up a social media presence. We created a blog where we posted updates on our campaign and also an Instagram account where we posted photos of the ethical fashion display.
To make a count of how many people we reached, our blogspot had 212 collective views. Our Instagram had around 38 followers and 157 likes. The campaign within our school with the posters and things like that would have reached about 800 people. The article in the Kilcullen Diary, the Kilcullen Diary has a weekly readership of about 30,000 page views. The Kildare Nationalist has a readership of 15,000. And the KFM has a weekly listenership of 81,000. So I'd make an estimate at how many people we reached to be around 2,000.
I think we created discussion in our area about greener fashion. So remember, next time you go clothes shopping, say to yourself, if it's not sustainable, I'm not wearing it.
Well done, guys. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. And you have 2 minutes of questions after the first question's asked.
Can you hear me? Yes. Thanks so much for that. I like the thought that went into your project. You obviously have done a lot of thinking about this topic, and it seemed clear that you were beginning to see how hard it can be to change behaviours, because you said with your survey, the people who knew a bit knew a lot more, which was good. But especially, I was wondering, for considering you were in a school environment and fashion is very important when you're a teenager, did you come across resistance from your school peers?
Yeah, definitely. To some extent, people weren't willing to listen to us, but I think there was, when we gave the talks, after we got the surveys back and we found out that we need to engage with our audience more, when we were talking to the first years, I feel like they learned a lot more and they were a lot more interested when it was kind of informal and when they were engaged a bit more. So they learned a lot and they were interested in what we're doing.
Okay, great. And can I just ask, where did you come up with the idea to look at fast fashion?
Well, we looked at, there was a Netflix documentary called The True Cost. That was the first time I learned about this. But yeah, when we were just like looking through the possibilities for the entries, we found that it was probably the most suited to us because we're interested in fashion anyways. So this kind of topic would have been like suited to us.
Well done, girls. I enjoyed that. There are just two of you, obviously. Why did you work together? Are you friends of each other's and so on, and you work well together, and that's why you made a team? Is that it?
Yeah, that was it. So, like we did in Green School's class, no one else was really that interested in doing the competition, but me and Jennifer really wanted to do it, and so we did.
Right. Okay. Now that you've completed the competition and looking back at the work that you did, would you do anything differently, or?
I think I'd engage with the audience more from the start, rather than just giving talks. I think I would ask them questions and have a debate, like from the very start, rather than just like. Now that I know what I know, it would have been easier.
Yeah. And why is that? Is it that you felt the engagement from them wasn't huge at the start, but as time went on, it increased? Yeah.
I think because the assemblies are in the morning and people are kind of switched off.
I know. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's difficult to get people to listen.
I know. And in terms of getting to talk, you just met them casually around the school, was it, or were you given time to give formal presentations to the students?
We took over our Green Schools teachers' SPHE class, and we used that to give them a presentation and play Kahoot. So.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks, girls. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.